Pat, were you with me when I went to GM and I was in OnStar?
No, not yet. That was before
you. So I'm going to GM, and if I'm not mistaken, I think we were their number one spokesperson on radio.
I think so.
And had a great relationship. And I drove their hydrogen car for I don't know how long, for a month.
And loved it.
Loved it. Just loved it. Such a great car. Which, by the way, the Obama administration, first thing they did was cancel the hydrogen car. But it was a great car. And I so believed in it. So I'm sitting with the engineers one time, and I'm talking, and I've got the engineers and the head guys at GM. And OnStar is just really starting to really kick in and be big. And I said, so tell me about OnStar exactly, because I'm a little concerned. This is during the Bush administration, because I'm a little concerned about,
remotely stopping your car.
Yeah, my civil liberties here.
Yeah.
You can track me. You know everything about my car.
I mean, some really cool features. My wife used it once when she was in the middle of New Mexico and she heard some rattle. Called OnStar. They said, okay, let me do a diagnostic. She's in the middle of the desert. They do a diagnostic remotely from the car. Say, oh, ma'am, it's just this little thing. And when you get home, you might want to have it serviced, but it won't cause you any trouble on the way.
It's unbelievable.
So they knew what was going on with the car from wherever their location is.
Oh, and by the way, your payment is due in 10 days.
Yeah. And by the way, we're going to turn off the car before you reach the next Indian reservation.
So as we were talking, they said, we can tell the tire pressure on cars. You got a tire pressure. We can alert you, tire pressure. And we know it. Now, I'm standing in their giant OnStar control room that has all of the cars with OnStar on this giant map, entire wall. And it's all lighting up. And the East Coast is all lit up, and the West Coast has very few. And it's like they haven't started their cars yet. They're still asleep. So I'm watching this thing, and I said, this is incredible. I said, no, wait a minute. Hang on. I just want to talk to you a little bit about civil liberties here. So you know where every car is at any given time. Mm-hmm. You know what the tire pressure is. Mm-hmm. Can you do anything to let me just use a hypothetical. Amber Alert. Yes. And when they said yes, it was like a knowing yes. An Amber Alert. Good cause, right? Kids missing. We know what kind of car it is. If it's a GM, you know the license plate. We know a kidnapped kid's in there. Probably be a good thing to be able to stop that car. Well, it'd be dangerous to stop the car. Okay, got it. Yeah. Could you put a governor on that car? Could you just say that car is not to go over 30 miles an hour now? Could you say that car, when it comes to a complete stop, the gas just doesn't work anymore and you shut the engine off? Well, we could. Have you? Well, in extreme situations, we have been asked, but we prefer not to discuss that. Okay. So have you done that? We prefer not to discuss that. Okay. All right. Now, I don't think anybody's going to give you heat because it's an Amber Alert. What's going to stop you from the slippery slope? Oh, well, we won't do that. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Could I get a better assurance than just because of your credibility as General Motors, you're not going to do that? Glenn, we're not going to do that. It would just violate all the company policies and everything else. This is why I canceled $1 million account with General Motors when they got into bed with the government. And I brought that up. I said, guys, I just met with your designers. I drove your hydrogen car. I sat with the head guy of the design team for the hydrogen car, and I was driving it, and I was in Times Square driving that car with him in the passenger seat, and I said, the government's never going to let you do this, right? What are you talking about? The government's not going to let you do this. No, we've got to deal with Shell. They're going to have coast-to-coast hydrogen filling stations. You can make them right there. And I said, the environmentalists aren't going to let you do this. No, well, it's too late because we're already so far down the road. And then you cancel it. You get the loan, and the first thing you cut is the hydrogen car. So you've already sold your soul to the devil. It's already there. And tell me about OnStar. Mr. Beck, this was just a loan from the government. Well, when you guys pay off that loan, I am more than happy to be a spokesperson for you again. When you are out of bed with the federal government and you have your control of your own company again, I am more than willing to come back on as a spokesperson. They haven't paid back the loan. They don't have control of their own company anymore. And now we find out it's not GM. I don't know who this was that turned this off, but that technology is not GM owned. That technology, every car has it. Mercedes, everybody has it. Everybody has it. What's going to stop them from, you know what? We have suspicion to believe that Pat Gray is just a bad person that dropped a woodchuck or a groundhog or something and killed them.
No, I mean, I don't think that the groundhog was really hurt that badly. Yes.
Let's say that you
hit
aren't
the ground.
Let's say that you aren't the one that has
and I kicked it.
Right. Say that you're not the one with this run that's the mayor of the city of New York, and so they don't believe that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they're not going to stop your car?
Yeah, they would.
They would absolutely stop your car.
Of course they will.
They can. This is the beginning of the technology, and it's not just this. I don't want to look. I am for people being responsible. I believe that the bank has a right to set the conditions. I'm going to come pick your car up. I'm going to turn your car off. You know, it doesn't work. I mean, they have a right to do that. They have a right to do it. They are the owner of the car. You are not. They are. If you take out a loan, you understand they are the owner of that house, car, whatever it is. They own it. You don't. You're renting it until you can make enough payments until you own it. They own it. That's the way it works.